Okay, we have arrived at the final review lesson and the final Spanish video lesson in this series overall. Let's once more review the rules of the subjunctive. Starting off with the basic uses of the present subjunctive. To start off with, there are often three factors present in subjunctive sentences. We're going to use this example. Nosotros dudamos que él hable español. So in this case, we have two different subjects, nosotros and él. But keep in mind that oftentimes we omit subject pronouns from sentences because the verb conjugations themselves often indicate which subject is being used. But you can still use the subjunctive even if there is no change in subject, such as espero que estudie bien. Next we have a relative pronoun, in this case que, and the use of a specific verb or phrase, in this case dudamos, which activates the subjunctive afterwards. So the verb dudar indicates that hablar must be conjugated subjunctively afterwards. The acronym WEIRDO is often used to more easily remember the types of verbs and phrases that activate the subjunctive. We have wishes and desires. Espero que estudies. Queremos que él beba agua. Emotions. Me enoja que tú no trabajes. Me sorprende que él no me escriba. Impersonal expressions. Es importante que no malgastes tiempo. Es una lástima que no comamos juntos. Recommendations and requests. El maestro me aconseja que prepare bien para la prueba. Sugerimos que no bebas alcohol. Doubt and denial. No creo que vivan en España. Dudo que él hable inglés. And ojalá. Ojalá que compremos solo lo que necesitamos. Ojalá caminemos al parque. Next up is a list of verbs and verb phrases that activate the subjunctive and organized according to category. You should also be aware of verbs and phrases that activate the indicative and not the subjunctive. In this case, we use the acronym SPOCK for speech, perceptions, occurrences, certainty, and knowledge. Earlier, it was mentioned that you can use the subjunctive even if there is no change in subject, such as espero que estudie bien. But it may be easier in these situations to use an infinitive in place of the subjunctive. Espero estudiar bien. But if there is a change in subject with a subjunctive activating phrase or verb, then you must conjugate the following verb subjunctively and cannot use an infinitive. Espero que estudies bien. We are now going to look at certain phrases that activate the subjunctive. Certain phrases always activate the subjunctive. No aprendes a menos que escuches. Cocino todo el día para que disfrutes tu comida. Nuestros estudiantes estudian antes de que descansen. Necesito ir sin que nadie me interrumpa. Certain phrases may or may not activate the subjunctive. It depends on the circumstances. They will trigger the indicative if the following action is completed, habitual, or factual. They will trigger the subjunctive if the following action is hypothetical or anticipated. Leo tan pronto como termino mi tarea. I read as soon as I finish my homework. This is a habitual action, so we use the indicative. Leeré tan pronto como termine mi tarea. I will read as soon as I finish my homework. This is an anticipated action that has not yet happened, therefore we use the subjunctive. Jugamos hasta que estamos cansados. We play until we are tired. This is a habitual action, so we use the indicative. Jugaremos hasta que estemos cansados. We will play until we are tired. This is an anticipated action that has not yet happened, so we use the subjunctive. Tenemos éxito siempre que trabajamos juntos. We are successful whenever we work together. This is a statement of fact or a completed action, so we use the indicative. Tendremos éxito siempre que trabajemos juntos. We will be successful as long as or whenever we work together. This is a hypothetical action, therefore we use the subjunctive. There are a few more subjunctive phrases that need to be looked at separately. These phrases also may or may not activate the subjunctive depending on the circumstances. For aunque, the indicative is used if a fact is involved or the outcome is known. The subjunctive is used if the outcome is unknown or uncertain. Iré contigo aunque ella no le gusta. In this case, we are certain she does not like it, so the indicative is used. Iré contigo aunque ella no le guste. In this case, we are not entirely certain if she does not like it. She may like it or she may not like it, but we can't say with certainty. Therefore, we use the subjunctive. De modo que or de manera que use the indicative if used to mean in such a way that. They use the subjunctive if used like para que. Lo explican de modo que tú entiendes. They explain it in such a way that you understand. So, in such a way that uses the indicative. Lo explican de modo que tú entiendas. They explain it so that you will or might be able to understand. It is used like para que, so that in this case, so we use the subjunctive. Como uses the indicative if used to mean because or since. It uses the subjunctive if used to mean if. It also uses the indicative if used to mean like or how in a factual sense. And it also uses the subjunctive if used to mean how or however in a hypothetical or future sense. Como terminaste tu tarea, deberías descansar. It is used to mean because or since, so we use the indicative. Como caminemos al parque, te compraré un helado. Como means if, so we use the subjunctive. Lo preparo como ordenaste. So como is used to mean like or how the person ordered in a factual and completed sense, so we use the indicative. Preparare como ordenes. In this case, it means how or however in a hypothetical or future sense, so we use the subjunctive. Next is the subjunctive with regards to affirmation, negation, and adjectival clauses. It is important to understand that some verbs and phrases will activate the subjunctive when used negatively, but will not activate the subjunctive when used affirmatively. These verbs and phrases are negative and are followed by the subjunctive. Their affirmative counterparts, however, are followed by the indicative and do not activate the subjunctive. And conversely, some verbs and phrases will activate the subjunctive if used affirmatively, but will not activate the subjunctive if used negatively. These verbs and phrases are affirmative and are followed by the subjunctive, but their negative counterparts are followed by the indicative and do not activate the subjunctive. Next are adjective clauses, which are relative clauses consisting of a relative pronoun, usually que or quien, followed by a description that modifies a noun. Here is an example of an adjective clause used in 3 different sentences. ¿Conoces al hombre quien trabaja aquí? Conozco al hombre quien trabaja aquí. No conozco a nadie quien trabaje aquí. In the first 2 examples, trabajar was indicative, but in the third example it was subjunctive, and we will see why shortly. With adjective clauses, the subjunctive may or may not be activated. It depends on the speaker's perception of reality. And oftentimes we have verbs such as buscar, necesitar, querer, conocer, and haber, which are used in these adjective clauses, but there are many others that can be used as well. The indicative is used in adjective clauses if referring to a specific object or person that is known to exist with certainty. ¿Conoces al hombre quien trabaja aquí? Hay mucha gente que no come carne. Estoy buscando la herramienta que funciona. Tengo un estudiante que escribe bien. Queremos ver tu sonrisa que brilla. All of these examples refer to specific objects or people that are known to exist with certainty. The subjunctive is used in adjectival clauses when referring to an object or person that may or may not exist or does not exist, but you can't say with certainty. ¿Conoces a un hombre quien trabaja aquí? ¿Hay mucha gente que no coma carne? Estoy buscando una herramienta que funcione. Necesito un estudiante que escriba bien. ¿Lees un libro que me guste? In none of these examples do we refer to specific objects or people. These objects or people may or may not exist, but you can't say with certainty. Therefore, we use the subjunctive. If the verb in the main clause is negative and does not refer to a specific object or person that does exist with certainty, then we again use the subjunctive. No conozco a nadie quien trabaje aquí. No hay mucha gente que no coma carne. ¿No buscas una herramienta que funcione? No tengo un estudiante que escriba bien. No quiero un hijo que no escuche. None of these sentences refer to specific people or objects, so we again use the subjunctive. And we finish off with uses of the imperfect subjunctive. Generally, if a past action is in the same situation where the subjunctive would be used in the present, then the imperfect subjunctive will be used. If a subjunctive activating verb is in the preterite, imperfect, or conditional, then the following subjunctive verb will be in the imperfect subjunctive. Preferí que tú lo comieras. Dudaba que tu equipo favorito ganara. No lo creería a menos que ellos me mostraran. And conversely, a subjunctive activating verb in the present or future tense will activate the present subjunctive and not the imperfect subjunctive. You can use the imperfect subjunctive for current opinions of past events, to express present emotions or doubts of something in the past. Es bueno que mi equipo favorito ganara ayer. Me sorprende que tú lo escribieras bien. And you can use the imperfect subjunctive with ojalá to hope for something unlikely or impossible. Ojalá no malgastara su tiempo. Ojalá que un país africano ganara la Copa Mundial. Ojalá takes on different meanings in the present subjunctive and imperfect subjunctive. To put it simply, when followed by the present subjunctive, it expresses that the speaker is still open to the possibility that the following action may or may not happen. But the imperfect subjunctive with ojalá expresses that the speaker strongly doubts the following action can happen. Ojalá que tu amigo esté aquí. So in the present subjunctive, this indicates your friend may or may not be here. The possibility is still open. Ojalá que tu amigo estuviera aquí. In the imperfect subjunctive, this indicates your friend is definitely not here, or most likely will not be here. So with ojalá and the imperfect subjunctive, it indicates a much stronger sense of doubt compared to the present subjunctive. With si clauses, the imperfect subjunctive is used to talk about hypotheticals. Si corriéramos más, estaríamos en buena forma física. Lo aprovecharía si tuviera la oportunidad. And como si is always followed by the imperfect subjunctive. Hablas como si tuviera miedo. You can use the imperfect subjunctive similarly to the conditional to make polite requests. Debieras escuchar a tus padres. Quisiera un vaso de agua, por favor. ¿Pudiéramos ir al cine? Now, from what I have seen, the second set of imperfect subjunctive endings are never used for polite requests. In theory, it would be grammatically correct if you said quisiese un vaso de agua, but it would sound very odd, so it's probably best if you just use the first set of endings. If a subjunctive activating adjective clause takes place in the past and does not refer to a specific person or object that is known to exist with certainty, then the imperfect subjunctive will be used. Buscaba a alguien que me ayudara. Preferí un libro que me interesara. No hubo nadie que comiera tu helado. ¿No necesitaste un estudiante que escribiera bien? ¿No conocíamos a nadie que hablara portugués. And now we have finished the Spanish video series as a whole. Wow. It's been a very long series. It's taken a lot of time, but we are actually finally finished with it all. As I always say, I would very much appreciate it if you could please keep sharing this video series with your friends and teachers. And that is all for now, so until next time.